Welcome, everyone. It is John, and welcome back to a long overdue director's cut. Now, this one is kind of like a forgotten gem in all of my videos. I even considered re-uploading it, but maybe after the first year I will. But for now, we'll do the director's cut. If you haven't seen this video, the link is in the description. This was a good one. There's a place of legend, if you will, up in the Kingsport, Tennessee area known as Five Caves. Some people say it doesn't exist. Some people say you can't ever go there now because they've caved it all in. Well, my good friend Ray, which is in this video, said no, it's there. I know how to get to it. So we go on an adventure. And man, this has been a couple years ago at least. I was still using Movie Maker as an editor at the time, but we got there and we explored it. Now it was full of bats, which you'll see here in a little bit. You don't see them really, but we do decide to not go fully deep into it. But it is a crazy place. Just a little bit of the backstory. It was a quarry. It was, they mined gravel, rock, for various purposes. What they always use a quarry for. It's been abandoned for a long time. Like 60s, 70s, it was not in use. It became a popular hangout spot. And, I believe used to, what is described to me, it was basically there was this huge hole in the ground that you could walk down into, and it branched off from various directions. The rumor is a lot of occult people used it for some dark rituals, sacrifices, things of that nature. So that's kind of the backstory. Now, this is where I didn't have fun. This is really steep. And it doesn't look like it's a long way down, but it is far down. And as you see, we're making our way down here. There's an old tow rope that I have to grab a hold of and just kind of weasel my way down underneath this railroad truss. Ray's even had to scoot on his rear end, and he's like a mountain goat. But needless to say, we make it. We get there, as you see here in a moment. I lost a battery on the way there. Here we are. I mean, this place is incredible. It's huge. It's a massive entrance. It's like the only way you can still get into the legendary Five Caves. Has a creepy vibe, but the scariest part is what you're looking at now, and that's massive loose boulders. Like, that doesn't look very big from there, but that's probably half the size of a car. And you imagine that thing come crashing down on you, you're not even going to know what happened. Like, it's just going to crush you. So it was a little nerve-wracking. I believe, if I remember correctly, we disturbed some pigeons in this place. So it was definitely unnerving being here, but beautiful at the same time. It was like going into a different world. I'm glad I went. I've considered going back. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I don't know how bats work, like if bats leave during a certain time of year and you can go. I think they do. I think during the winter they go south maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a bat expert. But if you know, please comment down below and let me know. Because if they're gone during the winter, I might, in January or February, take a trip out here and revisit this place. Because I'd love to check it out again and go deeper. Because it keeps going. I don't know how far. But you see Ray there ahead doing his thing. But yeah, it's a spooky place. Now later on, because of the bats, we do go to the legendary Sensabaugh Tunnel, which you'll see is known as one of the most haunted tunnels in the world. There's the birds we disturbed. Tim was scared they was going to make the rocks fall on our heads. Tim pretending to be an expert. He's good at that. But we all love Tim, right? But anyways, so here we are making our way across this mud. Really thick, sticky mud. Ray found a good path across. But you can actually see here in a moment where they just filled in what was the hole. Like you see straight ahead, it just goes on up. And I suppose that's where they just filled it in. Filled it in where you can't get into it from the top anymore easily. You have to take a long way. We had to park at a Walmart and walk about 2 miles just to get to here. It was not easy. It was really hard. I think it is right on the river, so you can take like a boat or a canoe or something over, and I think that would be the preferred way for me to get here if I return. So here's where the tunnel kind of turns left, and it tees off straight ahead, and it goes to the right and it goes back to the left. I don't know how far it goes in each direction. We didn't make it over there because at this point we're starting to hear thousands and thousands of bats just squeaking and chirping, and I was like, I don't want this big eruption of bats. And at the time there was like this disease, like if humans got in contact with bats, it could kill out a whole population of them. So to be safe, we decided to not disturb all the bats. They're animals. They're just living their best life, So we don't want to upset the bats. So we left. But if there's no bats this time of year in the winter, I would love to go back and revisit, because I think it would be really cool to get back in there and explore the depths of this and see how far it really goes, and actually do an investigation in here. That's something I've not done. Take maybe the echo box and some tools and really investigate this place and turn it upside down on the spiritual world, because they say there's a lot of energy in here, and you kind of feel it. Like you're in there, you feel, I don't know if it's just being in a cave, the danger of that, or if there's legit like something there. I don't know yet. I feel like there is, so I'd love to go back and investigate this place. Just let me know. Just let me know what you think, if you want me to or not. But you see me, I'm backing off already. I'm like, we don't want to mess this up, man. We don't want to potentially kill a bunch of bats. That would be bad. Another thing, while we're here, off the subject of the video, how is the audio? I got a new microphone. I think it sounds great. It's not expensive high-end, but it's a decent microphone. And I hope it sounds good for you guys. I hope we got a good, nice, crisp sound here. Because my old setup left like this echo, and nothing I did would ever fix that. And I just finally come to the conclusion that using the mixer and the microphones like I was just wasn't working. So I got this new microphone. It's supposed to be a plug and play, supposed to be one of the best on the market. So we'll see. It was kind of a little bit expensive, but it's worth it if it sounds good. And that's kind of one of the reasons I've not been doing these director's cuts in a while, is because, the sound I couldn't get the sound right. And I'm not a sound expert, but I want it to be good. I want you all to enjoy what I'm doing. But I just love looking back towards the front of that cave. It's just so beautiful. And as you see, I'm in night vision now because you can see a lot more. I have new cameras and stuff now. I still have this camera. It quit working on me for a while. It's working good again. I have had no issues out of it. I took it apart and done some work to it myself. But yeah, look at, there's me pre-colorful hair. It's weird. It's weird looking back at myself now. I look so plain. But hey, it is what it is. I'll probably go back to my natural hair color, but I don't know what just happened. My computer screen just went blank. I think it went to sleep. Okay, we're still good. My screen just went to sleep for some reason. Let me know if there's a weird, which I'll go back and listen anyways. But now we venture off to Sensabaugh Tunnel. And this place has a history to it. I'll just go ahead and tell you since there's no audio on the video. This tunnel's been around since the late 1800s when the railroad was put through, maybe mid 1800s. It's been there for a long time. You can tell by looking at it. It's old. The legend is that there's actually, it's a mixed up jumble of story. Oh, God, I forgot about this. Sorry, I'll get back to that. That spider was as big as my hand. That's like a full-size maple leaf beside of it. That thing was huge. Look at it. It's like eating something, man. Ugh, it gave me chills just now looking at it. Like, if you look over, there's Tim's foot. Like, it's as big as the... Like, look at that thing. It's huge. It's like a tarantula. Oh, yeah. I made Tim so mad just at that moment. I grabbed him and scared him, and he did not like it. He even told me, like, for a week after that wasn't cool. I think he should lighten up, but that's my opinion. I thought it was funny. But I get it. He has a big fear of spiders, so maybe I shouldn't have done it. But, hey, it is what it is at this point. But here we are going into the tunnel. Now, the tunnel, back to the story. There's two different rumors, and they both revolve around this pool of water here at the end of it. And it's kind of strange because, like, the creek just flows through the tunnel. There's no bypass. This was a natural tunnel at one point, and they built this to put a road through and to allow the water to pass. So the water just passes through on the road. As you see here, we're walking, there's just water flowing through this thing. I think when they first designed it, it was meant to have like a little channel on one side of water, but it just didn't work out. And the water just flows over the whole road, which is strange, but it allows for a lot of energy, you know. Flowing water adds to it. But the story. I'm trailing off here, the story. So, first story is that a robber was robbing the house on the other side of this tunnel, which is, the owner of the house was Ed Sensabaugh, which is the namesake of the tunnel and road, and kidnapped a young child for ransom. Hid out above the tunnel in the woods, and the baby was screaming, crying. He was afraid of getting caught, so he killed the baby and threw it in that pool of water. That's story number one. Story number two goes that Ed Sensabaugh himself killed his own child and threw it there. So, like, there's rumors of, you hear child laughter, you hear Ed hunting for his child. There's so many different things they say you hear and see in this place. One of the big rumors is you drive your car in the middle, turn it off, it won't start back. Typical stuff of haunted tunnel lore. Now, I don't believe any of those stories are true. I'm just going to be honest. I do believe this tunnel is haunted, and I believe it is one of the most haunted tunnels in the world, but not because of those reasons. This tunnel's always been known as a haunted tunnel. And when Ed Sensabaugh was alive, his family told that on the side where we walked in at, teenagers would congregate there on Saturday nights, weekends, and they would drink and party and do their thing. But they were loud and obnoxious like teenagers are when they hang out and party. And it was really getting on Ed's nerves because all the sound was channeling right through the tunnel, shooting right to his house. So he was hearing all this constantly. So he decided he was going to use the creepy lure of the tunnel to scare off these teenagers. So his family said that he would hide in the woods, and when they would get out there and start partying and doing their thing, he would make these sounds come from the woods. They said he was really good at throwing his voice and making creepy sounds and things of that nature. And he used that to his advantage to scare off these kids. So that intensified the legend of the tunnel. And that's where the current stories come from. Now, if you Google most haunted tunnel in the world, this pops up as one of the most haunted. In some lists, it's number one. It's a very short tunnel. It's a couple 100 foot long, but it is creepy. You do hear a lot of weird sounds in it. However, I do believe it is haunted, and this is why. When you look up history of this tunnel, it was built by Italian immigrants. They almost like, I mean, it's almost like chain gang stuff. They were treated poorly. They were made to work long hours, and they had to hand dig these tunnels for the railroads. So they were working these guys to death, and sometimes they would die on these. But there was a horrible accident where a young man died in this tunnel during the construction of it. And no, there's no record of what happened to his body, but it's a general consensus that he was buried in the land above the tunnel, because that was common for immigrants that didn't really have any family in America. If they died on the job out somewhere, they would just be buried where they died. So it's pretty good consensus that this man is buried somewhere above this tunnel, and his restless soul is still traveling around. And I think that's where the hauntings come from. I did a lot of research on it. I don't believe the baby story at all. All the family, descendants of Ed Sensabaugh, say it's not true. He never murdered his baby. He never had a baby that was murdered. And that's weird how that one vine's just moving like crazy and nothing else. There's no wind. So it's weird things like that happen here. Strange, weird, unexplainable little things. But that's the story of Sensabaugh Tunnel. That is a place I will be going back to do more thorough investigating. The only problem is sometimes cars drive through. So you have to be careful. It's this very small single lane tunnel, and you might get run over in it. So you have to be careful and watch what you're doing when you're there to be safe. Have good lighting so people know you're in the tunnel, and just make sure that, they don't splash you with water, because they will. They will drive through, and they will try to get you wet if you're in there. Because, I mean, really, are you going to be able to chase them down? No, they're in a car. They can run off and leave. You'll never know who they are. Well, I just noticed there's a massive penis drawn on the left side there. I don't know. I don't understand why that's fun for people to draw, but to each their own. Lots of graffiti. And it always changes because people are always in there spray painting. There's a can laying on the ground right there. I just seen it. There's always spray paint cans laying everywhere around this tunnel. But definitely a cool place, man. I mean, if you ever are in East Tennessee, in the Tri-Cities, Bristol, Kingsport area, go drive through it. It'll give you the heebie-jeebies. It really will. It'll make the hair stand up on your neck as you drive through. But in all seriousness, I do want to get back to the Five Caves. That place is amazingly beautiful. Definitely would go there in the day because it is dangerous. There's a lot of boulders. There's holes in the ground. There's slick spots. You could fall and get hurt very easily. And definitely go back with someone. And hopefully I can find some kind of little boat or something I can take over to it. If you live up that way and you have a boat, you can help me out, let me know. That'd be great. That would be awesome. Just, shoot me an email, DM me on Instagram. All those links are in the description. So feel free to hit me up, because, it's not easy to just take a boat up there. I don't even have a boat. Plan on getting one in the future, but we'll see. But anywho, we're coming up last couple minutes here. Just want to talk to you about the director's cuts. I mean, I get mixed opinions about these. Some people love them. A lot of people hate them. I have a feeling a lot of that's to do with the audio issues we have. But Just let me know what you think, because I enjoy making these. I love reminiscing and all this. So just let me know if you want to keep seeing these. So there's a car passes through. They weren't jerks. They didn't try to splash us. But yeah, just let me know what you think about these. I enjoy making them. Next year, I plan on releasing one every week of the year, probably on Saturdays. As you noticed on the channel, I've went to releasing one video a week because I am managing 2 channels. I'm working on a couple big projects right now, so it's really hard to upload twice or 3 times a week like I was. But I can do a director's cut and a new release every week, and that's the plan. I feel like that's a good amount because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work to make one video. It really does. People don't understand it. I just don't walk somewhere and flip my camera on for 20 minutes and I'm done. That it's so much more than that. You got to get to the location. To make a 30-minute video, there's at least 3 to 6 hours of recorded footage. Because you're getting the highlights of it and it's edited. There's just so much that doesn't happen, or we're trying to figure something out, or we're trying to get into a spot, or there's just so much to it. Sometimes they do work out where I walk out, I pull out the camera, start recording, and hour later we're done and we've got a 30-45 minute video. Doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes it does. However, we're down the last little bit, guys. I love you. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And I hope y'all have a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. I love yous. Peace out.